Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey and my Sandman dream set. That is my new obsession. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to pull two of these major arcana out of this wonderful major arcana deck I got through Goddess Provisions. And we're just going to talk about them. The energy is so good. I've had so many people recently just connect with me and say, oh, they feel so much calmer as this full moon is winding down. It's like this clarity, this lightness, this creativity. I know myself, sometimes I start to collect all these things for, say, reads and sets and all these things, and I'll keep them in packages, and I'll think I won't have time to implement them, but I actually will. So what I do is just begin. I'm like, hey, what do you want this to look like today? What do you want to do? And I did this funny video. I got the idea. Cherry Enchantress was on with this fun kind of like filter, and I was like, oh, that'd be great for like a Sandman face and doing something tricky and supernatural in your room. And I just made this fun little TikTok video. What I do is I put them together over on TikTok because it's so cool, and then you can upload them over here. I mainly just do readings over there. So it's really fun to use all these great filters and be creative and have a good time, which I really, really like because I like the art over there. Yay, Temperance. Oh, let's just start with this and talk about this because this is everything to me. And this is also, my sign for Sagittarius. Are we being level-headed? Are we being calm? Let's take any relationship you're in right now, okay? Is this person reciprocal when it comes to things that you do for them? Are they truly listening to you when you talk? Are they dismissive, or are they present moment aware? What is happening in this? And there's so many wonderful, diplomatic, loving, compassionate ways we can go about having conversations with either our children, family members, whether there's, the level of respect isn't up to par what it should be, or somebody is just agitated and we want to approach that like, what is triggering you? What is, what is taking place, for you? And I want to provide a safe space for you to be able to share that with me because, your mood just seems different. Temperance is all about approaching things with a calm, open mind. Anything, it could be your job, it could be a lot of times I feel this is applicable to relationships because when we are emotionally triggered, we're not our usual selves. We're not applying logic or reason. It is pure emotion. And when that happens, sometimes I've had my clients say they just like black out, they fog out, they don't even know what they're saying. And I remember, in the day, like when our kids were little and you're so tired and, you're having this conversation with your spouse and they know what your buttons are and you literally you just see white. You feel like you're in a blizzard and nothing you say makes sense. And I know not to get to that place because then you just want to lash out at that point. You just want to be hurtful. So Temperance is saying, just take a look at what you're about to say and how are those words going to fall or land, even for yourself. What do you say out loud to yourself? I stop myself if I get to like catastrophizing, like if I'm in traffic, like, oh, I'm going to be hours later. Oh, this is terrible. I just say, hey man, I'm listening to a podcast. There's nothing I can do. This is when we recognize what's in our control and what's out of our control. And once we kind of recognize what's out of our control, yay, we bring in good judgment. This is again, a little forethought, a little foresight into, I know I can stop myself. You ever get yourself revved up, whatever's happening, like you're cooking and say you're recognizing something is about to boil over, whether it's a pasta or something is going, and you can almost see two roads in your head, like I could lose my mind over this because everything's not going to come out right, or I'm just going to do the best. What is in my control? What's in my control is how I react or respond to anything, what I can physically do right now to remove boiling water and to sort of get things in line. What I can't control is if everybody's going to show up on time, where the food is still hot and good. What I can't control is whether it is to everyone's taste or liking. What I can't control is other people's moods and reactions. But I can control mine. And guess what? If I keep it positive, knowing that moods are contagious, that is going to be helpful to a lot of people. Now, I want to end on this because I feel like a lot of people right now are going to have a lot of things to celebrate. They're going to have a lot of reasons to come together, whether it is for weddings and engagements and just wonderful things. I feel like August and September is that gorgeous kind of like, oh, that Libra Virgo energy. Like I'm ready to get organized. I'm ready, schools, all these things begin. I'm ready to celebrate this new season of growth. Something I was celebrating yesterday and it was off the hook. Okay, firstly, I made a video that I loved yesterday. It was a 10-minute video right when I got back from the butterfly park. And I saw the most incredible things and I was so amped up and the energy translated was so great. And then I deleted it, but I not only deleted it, I deleted my delete. So there was no coming back. But I was like, you know what? I'm glad I got to say those things out loud because it was just gratitude fueled. I got to see these I thought they were black monarch butterflies that looked like they were reverse, like negative shots of a real monarch. They were black and then they just had the gold and the brown on the edges and they were tremendous. And it's mating season. So they were everywhere and they were flying around my head. And I was like, I feel like I stepped out of Midsummer's Dream. It was amazing. And it was just walking around and just hearing the birds and the beauty of it. And I posted up on IG of it just swirling around me because I was like, everything looked like wheatgrass and rich green. All I could smell was trees and flowers and utterly heaven, just immersed in this. And things are cooling off. So everything's not as hot, just beautiful, temperate, gorgeous, gorgeous weather. So you guys, that is what you are meant to hear today. I want you to find something to celebrate today. However small, you cooked a perfect breakfast. You're going for a wonderful walk. You had a great conversation. You're geared up for something wonderful and creative. Something I'm really excited to do for you guys tomorrow is I got this fabulous deck. Now I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my feed because you guys, Amazon now has a whole plethora of here it is, has a whole plethora of new oracle decks, and I'm just so excited about this. I want to see if I can get it in a bigger thing, and then so I'm just going to hold it right here. Lucy Cavendish, I have most of her decks, and then they have this awesome new one, and it's called Into the Lonely Woods, Blessings and Messages for Times of Solitude and Isolation, with all her beautiful giant creatures. I have the other deck, the Gentle Creatures, and I'm going to do a lovely flip through for that tomorrow and do a few readings over the next couple of days with them. They're just so soothing and wonderful, and the artwork is fabulous. And I just found so many decks on there. I couldn't believe that all these releases were out there and I hadn't seen them. So I have a few new decks coming to work with those. I'm excited. I'm celebrating that. I love anything that gives me like bright new messages, incentives. And most of the time I expect like the books to be like a 5 or 6 and they knock it out of the park and they're 10s. The beautiful insights and the lovely messages are soothing and healing and wonderful as well. So get out there and celebrate. Have that moment of pause when somebody, is reactive or whatever, and just say, you know what? I don't need to participate in the kind of level that this is at. I can just have calm assumption. And I read this thing and I love it. When somebody says something that's absolutely ridiculous, accusatory, or nutso, be silent for like an unusual amount of time. Like, don't even say anything for a good solid 30 seconds. And you can look around, you can look at their forehead, that throws them off. And it gives them a moment to think about what they said. And then they can really hear and it sinks in. So instead of you being reactive and then saying, you're crazy, look how you're acting, they get to think about what they said and it'll start to land, and then they can have better judgment, and then they can have a little more temperance to their approach. Oftentimes I just do the swivel. Somebody says something really off or crazy, swivel on my heel, and I just walk away after just a kind of like a moment of silence, like, oh, I don't even need to participate in that, thank you. And then you'll have so much happy energy for yourself because you're not giving it away in all of this. So look for things to celebrate there. I'm like just so into, I'm like excited about this new season of fabulous shows. The Rings of Power is going to be insane. The new Game of Thrones about the dragons, and I'm crazy. And I'm going to rewatch Sandman because it's my ultimate favorite. I love anything that has to do with notions of goodness and hope, and it's just such a myriad of cool, dreamy stuff that I love it. Celebrating that, going to a nice dinner tonight, just excited. A little turkey left me a present. I wanted to put it on the thing, a huge feather. Yesterday when I was doing reads outside, it just was walking at me like, hey, like if I had a handful of food, it would just come up. And I like that a lot because she also has babies, and they just come in the yard and they just, little cluckers just just clucking around looking for stuff. She doesn't even care. I'm like, good babysitter. You could just leave them with me. little pluckers can hang with me. I just love it. I celebrate that, all these fun and wonderful animals. So you guys, that is what you are meant to hear. Love and light. Comment down below if you are going anywhere, you're excited about a trip, whatever it is, a fantastic show. And I also need to know if you've seen Sandman, because I'm obsessed and I need other Sandys in here talking about it with me. So love and light.